Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the Allure September issue starring Helen Mirren. Please enjoy. The first thing I'm going to do is prime my face with this primer. It's the Hard Candy Sheer Envy primer. And I really thought that Helen's face had somewhat light to it. Charlotte Tilbury was her makeup artist, so she really used glowy type of products, and I thought that this primer would be the best. It's pilling up a little bit, which I find happens with silicone based primers, but it's still really good, and I think it gives me the look that I wanted. So for foundation, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Dewy and Smooth Fit Me foundation in 125 Nude Beige. Now, Helen had obviously very glowy skin. With Charlotte Tilbury being her makeup artist, I thought that that was, their focus. And so I'm just going to be applying this all over my face and cheek area. And I decided to go a bit more full coverage today since I was going to be wearing a red lipstick, and I just wanted to make sure that if I had a bold lip, that my face was also bold in the coverage. So I'm just going to keep applying that till I get my desired coverage. So I'm going to be applying my foundation with my Sigma F80 Kabuki brush, and one thing that I want to make sure of is that I pat and kind of buff in versus wipe and swipe all over my face. I don't want to leave any streaky marks, so you can kind of see I'm patting it but also buffing it out. And I really like this foundation brush because I feel like it doesn't soak up the product and make it less in coverage. I feel it just applies it really nicely, and I just like making sure that my face is even all over, make sure that there isn't any edges to my foundation, and making sure that it's blended all down my neck and on top of my eyelids, as you can see here, so everything is the same shade and tone. And obviously we're going to want to blend out that lip here soon, but first you always need to do your ears, because if your ears don't match, then it's a dead giveaway that something is off. And so make sure you also blend it down your neck, because people will be able to tell. And right there I am just making sure that everything is blended all over my eyes and all over my face. So for concealer, I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer in the shade Light Neutral. And I'm just going to be applying this concealer on to the areas of my face where I want it to be a little bit lighter, so it looks like I have some dimension to my face. If that's something you feel you struggle with, using a concealer that's a couple shades lighter than your actual skin color will do that. But what you want to make sure is when you're applying it underneath your eyes, that you apply it on the other high points of your face, like your lower chin, your upper lip, and your forehead. And so I prefer to pat my concealer out with my finger, because I really prefer the warmth of my finger versus a brush or a sponge. And so I'm just gonna pat that out with my finger. And I really like this concealer because I feel that it's lightweight, but it doesn't crease, and it's not this cakey makeup, but I feel like it's also really full coverage, and that it covers my dark circles and anything else that I need to be covered. So I think if you follow those types of rules, and if you want to use this concealer, but obviously you don't have to, you'll really get a dimensional face, and it could maybe stop your face from looking flat. Next, I am going to set my face using the Makeup Forever Fondue Tint Powder in the shade 200. Now, this is technically a powder foundation, but I really like using it to set my face and my under eyes. So I'm going to be using the Real Technique setting brush, and I really like this brush because it packs a lot of product on without making my makeup look cakey. And so how I like to apply this is I like to just tap it underneath my under eyes, and I feel that it sets the powder down so it doesn't look like I have glossy under eyes, because that just doesn't seem natural to me. And then I am also going to be applying it to the top of my eyes, because powder blends better on top of powder. Light formulations blend better onto light formulations. And so that's just what I'm going to be doing right now. I do prefer the powder to normal loose powders just because I feel that it's like less messy and I feel like the tone of it really works well. And so I'm just going to keep doing that until my face is set. And I'm also going to be setting the contour areas of my cheek because I am going to be contouring. And I know that since this foundation is a dewy one, it probably would not be good to just blend powder on top of it going straight in on top of a liquid. Now we're going to be moving on to the cheek portion of this look, and from what I read and could discover, Helen had some contouring powder on, and so I'm going to be using the Tarte Park Avenue Princess bronzer to complete this look. Now, she only had contour and blush on from what I could tell, so those are the two products that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using the Revlon contour brush and just putting this in my contour areas like I would obviously do no matter what. For blush, I'm also going to be using another Tarte product. This is the Tarte blush in the shade Flush. This is just a really nice pinky color, and that's the type of blush that Helen was using that Charlotte was using on Helen. And so I'm just going to take that on my NARS. It's a contour brush, but I also feel it works really well for a blush brush. And I'm just going to be putting that into the areas where you would normally put blush. I thought that this was the first time using the blush, and so I felt like it was a little bit difficult to get enough product like I wanted, so I went back into it a couple times, but that's just normal, I think, with kind of taking off that top layer to really get to the product, but I still felt that I got a nice blush like Helen had on the cover. Now we are going to be moving on to the eye portion of this. Now, Helen was wearing false eyelashes, but because I was going to school, I decided not to do that. So the first thing that I'm going to go do is go in with the Makeup Geek and Manny MUA palette. And I'm going to be going in with the shade Luna, I believe. I believe it's Luna. And I'm going to just take that on a fluffy brush and put it into the crease. Now, Helen had two colors in her eye. She had a nice kind of peachy coppery color as a crease color, and it was shimmery, which I normally don't do, but I wanted to recreate this look to the best of my ability and have it be as authentic as possible. And so I am putting that all over my eyelid. And then she also had a lighter color on her eyelid that was also shimmery. So you're going to see that as well. But I'm just going to keep blending this color into my crease until I get the desired effect that I want. For the second eye color, I'm going to be going in with the Real Her eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to be going in with the shade Fine right there. And I'm just patting out a wrinkle that I see on my forehead, but I'm just going to go in with that color. I'm taking off the little plastic sheet over the mirror, and this actually has a really nice mirror, and I got this palette in my BoxyCharm, and I thought it was actually pretty good. So I'm just going to be going in with a Real Techniques shadow brush, and I'm just going to be picking that lightly up onto the brush. I don't want a ton of product because it's not like it's going to be full-blown color, but just enough to get that nice shimmery wash that I want. So I'm just going to blend that on to my eye. And one of the things that I recommend when blending shadow onto your eye and you don't want it to be like really, really intense, just take it on a stiffer type brush and don't necessarily dig into the product like you may normally would, and definitely don't wet your brush if you want a more subtle look. Now, to start on my mascara, I'm going to be using the Tweezerman Pro Curl Eyelash Curlers, and I'm just going to be curling my eyes with that, and I decided to switch over and use a palette mirror so I could get closer up. But I'm just going to be doing like quick little curls onto my eyelashes. Unfortunately, this honestly doesn't really do anything past the first couple of minutes because I have just naturally really straight lashes. I've been looking in to get like a lash perm, but unfortunately they don't have any in my area. So for mascara, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and this is honestly the mascara I use when I want a little bit more volume to my eyelashes and kind of want that more false looking effect. So I'm just going to be blinking that on to my eyelashes, basically, just kind of massaging it up into them. I feel that that's the best way to apply this mascara, and then I'm just going to be applying it to my lower lashes as well, and then on to the next eye. And this is just something I do that achieves that look. Some people really like to apply it onto the top and then the bottom, but I just feel this works best for me, and I would recommend trying it if you're having troubles getting that false effect look. I would just try blinking onto the mascara. Now I'm just going to move on to my brows and just do something pretty ordinary, natural. I'm just going to be brushing them out with the spoolie here just to get them ready for what I'm about to do. I do need to get them waxed, so I plan on doing that soon. If you hear thunder, that's what it is. If you hear noise in the background, I apologize. But this, I'm just going to be using the Benefit Gimme Brow Gel in the shade 5. This is just, I've talked about this tons of times. It's just the best. I love it. It makes my brows so full and voluminous and makes them look like I actually did them when all I did was run this through them. So moving on to the grand finale, if you will, the red lips. I was a little bit nervous to do this because I've never worn such a bright color to school, but good thing I was wearing a red shirt today. So we're just going to go for it. So I'm going to be using the Sonia Kashuk lip definer pencil in the shade True Red. And I'm just going to be outlining my lip line with this. And I typically like to start on my lower lip and just kind of trace the line. It is not easy because my lip line kind of fades out, so it's kind of hard to see where it is. But I'm just going to be kind of drawing that on my lips to have some sort of definition there. And my lips are obviously natural, and so I'm just going to draw in that Cupid's bow part, but then it does go quite down quite suddenly, and so I'm just going to be drawing in the smaller part of my lips where my lipstick wouldn't be able to reach. So as you can kind of see, it looks a little insane, and I'm just going to make that X to try and create a little bit more of a pout in that type of area. So I'm just going to keep doing that and lining my lips. So for the actual lipstick, I'm going to be using the KC1 lipstick by Calvin Klein in the shade 610 Bite Me. And this is just a beautiful, bright, ruby red lipstick. It matches what Helen was wearing almost exactly, I feel, even though she was wearing a L'Oreal lipstick. And I'm just going to be tracing that over my mouth and trying to get it as close to the line as I possibly can. It's definitely not the same shade as the lip liner. The lip liner is a little bit more muted, but I'm just going to be putting that on my lips to make them stand out. And as you can see, this is just a beautiful color. Like, it's a true red. It's not orange. It's not like bright and reddy toned or orangey reddy toned. It's just a true blue red, and I just love it. It's one of my favorite red lipsticks that I own. So to set my face, I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray because obviously she had a dewy face, so I wanted a dewy skin look. So I'm just going to do the normal 3 squirts that I do. I'm just making sure that my mascara is dry, and I'm repositioning the nozzle so it gets a nice spray. So we're going to go with 1 spray right here, and then 2 in the middle, and then 3 on the other side. I'm just going to kind of let that sit there and soak into my face, and I'm going to fan my face with my hands to make sure that it stays dry. And then I'm going to take a deep breath because I'm at this point scared to open my eyes, and then I do, and I see that no mascara is smudged onto my lower lash line and that my lips still look okay. And I'm just going to be putting that away into my makeup bag. And then this is the completed look, and here's what it looks like. So from Helen Mirren to me. Helen, me. I really hope you guys enjoyed this look. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and come back later. See ya.